Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening. My name is Kelly McMahon. I teach kindergarten at Hoover Elementary School in Cedar Rapids. I'm here tonight as a former Wisconsin school teacher to please ask you to learn the lessons from Wisconsin and vote no to House Study Bill 84. While attending the University of Northern Iowa, my Meeting the Needs of Diverse Learners professor stressed the importance for educators to be advocates for our students. It is our responsibility to be a voice for our students within and outside of our school building. I took this lesson to heart and became a very active advocate for my students. I spent the first 9 years of my teaching career in Milwaukee Public Schools. Despite loving my students and school, Milwaukee was a very toxic environment to teach. Our schools were constantly under attack from pro-voucher school and pro-charter school supporters and the local media. Despite our schools being severely underfunded, we endured through the constant attacks to do what was best for our students and schools. Prior to the passage of Act 10, I was an outspoken teacher that spoke up for my students at the school, local school board, and state level. As an educator, I knew that in order for my students to reach their fullest potential, it was critical that I was able to implement developmentally appropriate, research-based best practice. I also needed the opportunity to teach and not just to touch my young learners. After having the superintendent of Milwaukee Public Schools call me a liar in front of an auditorium prior to the start of a public hearing to address early childhood concerns that I helped organize, I was thankful that I was a union member. I knew my union would be there to protect me from standing up for my students. I was a good teacher and didn't deserve to be fired. However, after the passage of Act 10, I no longer felt I could do my job as an educator. I didn't feel safe to speak up for my students to ensure I could provide them the education they all deserved. I wasn't the only educator that felt this way, and Wisconsin lost thousands of educators, and they cannot recruit enough teachers for their schools, especially in rural and impoverished urban districts today. In the fall of 2011, I made the difficult decision to leave behind the students and colleagues I loved in Milwaukee to move back to Iowa. I've continued to be an advocate for my students in order to ensure my students get the educational opportunities that they need in order to reach their fullest potential. I have felt safe to question what we are doing in education at the building, district, and state level during the past 6 years. That all changed on Tuesday, February 7th, when this state legislator submitted HSB 84 and Senate File 213. Under the proposed changes, a teacher can be fired without just cause. Thankfully, I have a principal that appreciates my willingness to speak up for my students and challenge some of the things we are implementing at the school level. That may not always be the case. Under the proposed changes, I can be fired for speaking up for my students because a new principal, the superintendent, or school board do not appreciate being challenged when it comes to ensuring we are doing what's best for our students. I ask that you please vote no to HSB 84 to ensure Iowa's children always have educators that are able to be advocates for their educational needs. Thank you for your time.